You're listening to Sunny Side Up, a B2B podcast that brings you the juiciest insights from go-to-market leaders and practitioners.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sunny Side Up. I'm your host, Erik Blaze. Today, I'm very excited to talk to Carolyn Crandall on full stack marketing and AI. Carolyn Crandall is a technology CMO and executive with over 30 years of experience in building emerging technology markets in security, networking, and storage industries. She has a demonstrated track record of successfully taking companies from pre-IPO through to multi-billion-dollar sales and has held leadership positions at Ativo Networks, Cisco, Juniper Networks, Nimble Storage, Riverbed, and Seagate. Carolyn is recognized as a global thought leader on technology trends and for building strategies that connect technology with customers to solve difficult information technology challenges. Carolyn, I'm really excited to talk to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's super exciting to be here.
So let's jump right into it. First question for you. Can you give our audience an insight into your background and your journey through marketing over the years?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey as I look back over the last 30 or so years, and everything from coming into this industry before computers were really standardized computers on everybody's desk, and the advent of the internet and getting things connected and moving away from sneakernet to onto massive amounts of compute and storage and then security and now AI. It's just exciting times, maybe not as much as my grandmother when she went from the old turnstile black and white TVs, but there's been a lot of innovation and high tech that really changes the way we live and work, which is so exciting.
Wow. And today, marketers are expected to be dynamic professionals who can easily shift across various sub-functions and roles. Can you talk about how this is now creating a new breed of full stack marketers?
Yeah, everything is getting so interconnected. When you think about customer experience and a society now where we want everything on demand, personalized to us, we don't want to be spammed with things that we don't want. So, regardless of what your function is, you have to think as a full stack marketer and about the overall experience that your customers are going to have with you. So, everything from your brand and how you communicate and identify with them so they feel like your brand relates to them and they want to do business with you. There's a lot of choice there, a lot of offerings, and so a lot of identifying with those people. And it can't all just be, basically looking at through its sponsorships or advocates. It's people have to make an actual connection with the brand and want those things. And so as you think about it as a marketer, it's what is the awareness of your brand? What's the identity of your brand? How do you position it towards your target markets? And then as you go to create that demand, people want things in different ways, like video, texting, social, email. It's all over the place as far as what people want. So you have to be thoughtful about how you get your message across. And of course, partners, right? We can't do it all alone. And so you've got to think about the success, not only what you can touch directly, but also how you can activate your channel behind it. And so much has changed that I just encourage people to think strategically and think big, right? But move fast and start small wherever you can to move your projects and initiatives forward.
Yeah, that's great. And in this ever-evolving realm of marketing, what do you believe today's marketing leaders need to do to drive better upskilling within their teams, along with better optimization of their internal processes and practices?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I'm always an advocate of continuous improvement. Even having done this for a long time, I am constantly reading newsletters and articles and websites and joining associations and being part of Slack channels to continue to learn. And so I definitely encourage everybody to take a certain amount of your day and time to do that. That way you stay ahead. And I am always surprised at the innovation and new things that I find. Despite I think I know a lot, I always learn more. And then if you look at what AI is introducing into the picture, it is changing everything. It's changing your ARPR, your demand gen, your content creation. It's giving you better data insights to be able to correlate things better. And it's making us all much more efficient. And so as we look at what should we do, definitely look for ways to embrace AI so that you can get that efficiency. And again, it may not be a replacement, but you may be surprised at how much more efficient it can make you be so that you can afford to do more things and be a little more experimental and try things and maybe from an ideation standpoint in different ways. And so definitely AI is shaking up the world. And if you're not paying attention to it, you definitely want to be at least tinkering around with it. There's plenty of free software out there. Try it. There's some that are a little better with a little bit of a price tag, but definitely going around and tinker and lots of free trials. So even try those so you at least get some familiarity with what's going on. And I have to admit, the more I get into it, the more addicted I get to it, and the more I want to learn and play with things. And so, if you're curious by nature, definitely look at AI and ask your vendors. Ask every vendor you do business with, how are they injecting and infusing AI into what they're doing? And maybe they have some neat insights into things that you can get started with the tools you already have.
Yeah, that's great. I hear more and more about AI every single day. When it comes to the growing impact of AI on marketing and MarTech, how are you seeing current changes impact the way marketers work? And what immediate thoughts do you have surrounding the future of AI and marketing?
Yeah, no, it's definitely here and it is a competitive advantage. And so if you look at it, most people think about it as far as content creation, which is great, but it starts actually at the ideation phase. And so what are you trying to do? And it can do everything from give you better headlines, take content that you've already written and make it better. I'm not necessarily sold as it's a replacement for the writing or the human, and there's a lot of things you need to be aware of. But if you write something that's your own and you want to make it better, especially if you take it in small copy blocks, there are tons of vendors that are out there, like beyond ChatGPT, Jasper, Copy AI, even Grammarly, which most of us have on our systems, can use AI to make things better. And don't be afraid to mix them together, right? I use Jasper and then I'll run Grammarly over the top of it because it gives me slightly different things. And so other things to make you more efficient. If you're in a recording and you're like, gosh, I'm trying to take notes, so I'm not paying attention, use something like Otter AI, which will transcript it and you can come back to it. There's even ways to take it and turn it into sound bites for other things. Maybe then ingest it into your AI engine, create a blog from it, create a social media post, create a headline for a webinar or a video you want to run. There's all kinds of really super cool things to do around that. There's tons of things in the brand side of things, like Brand Watch or Brand 24. Our PR agency Matter looks at these things and they give us all kinds of perspective around our markets and who's writing about it and what's your impressions. And it goes so far beyond just share a voice that we've been so used to using for our benchmark, that you definitely want to look at tools like that or critical mention to understand how effective you're being in your PR programs. There's a ton of other things around demand gen. I mean, you can just go endless as far as the ABM platforms that are out there, the things that you can do for SEO optimization, lots of different things for chatbots on the website and making that more effective and getting unknown and known customers matched together, and then using your ABM platform to look at your buyer's journey and then match that content together. And that's one of the things I get so excited about is we can't keep up as marketers with the content volume that we have to produce. So if I get the core content together in the best way, I can then extend it. And all of a sudden, something that might have taken hours or days can be done in minutes or under an hour, to take my press release and turn it into a blog post and turn it into a social media post and turn it into a webinar abstract, and then maybe turn it into a PR pitch so that I can announce my press release. It just goes on and on and on. As you can tell, I'm like super excited about this stuff because there's so much out there. And again, just start slow, right? Try a couple of the tools, and as you get comfortable, go ahead and build more on. There's also some great resources like the Marketing Institute for AI that has a bunch of courseware as well that you can take for learning more about this. But definitely go in and tinker and have some fun.
Yeah. Can you highlight more on some of the leading B2B tech brands that you feel stand out for their unique marketing initiatives? And what can we pick as takeaways from them?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you one of my favorite people, and I apologize if I mispronounce her name a little bit, but Leslie Allore from Avanti. I love listening to her talk, and she probably doesn't know this, but I love listening to her. She's very forward thinking, and so I like what they're doing. I like how she talks to AI in the topic. Daniel Raskin is also another gentleman from a company called Imperative. And when I look at all of our reporting and how we use AI to do the predictive piece, so, right, it's not all just content and ideation and demand gen matching, it's also your reporting and your analytics to make sure you understand your ideal ICP. You understand how effectively you're getting to them. You understand your conversions. You understand how to set your KPIs. And Imperative has been a great tool for me to be able to go in and put all those pieces together and then say, well, you know what? I want to change it a little bit. And I don't have to go back to spreadsheets. It'll just auto calculate, which removes a tremendous amount of issues and mistakes. And once you get that system running, you can do a lot of predictive modeling and pipeline modeling and a lot of really cool things. And then the last person kind of spreading it around to the different topics is had a great conversation the other day with Melissa Turek from Matter Communications and what they're doing for their PR initiatives and helping their companies really master how to get the right pitch to the right people and then not only look at your mentions, but what's the sentiment and how do you do that in a much more sophisticated way by correlating a lot more data sources. And so it's really fun to chat with her about your brand and PR initiatives. And so these are three companies, there's more, but these are three companies that really stand out to me as market leaders in the things that they do.
Fascinating. Switching gears a little bit, good reads. Is there a book, a blog, a newsletter, a website, a video that you'd recommend to our listeners?
Yeah, so I think a few things. So the Marketing AI Institute is definitely one to look at. They've got a bunch of videos and training manuals and books, and they offer like a free 30-minute introductory to it. So it's worth even just listening to that initial introductory. But I made the investment, and I'm really glad I did. It really helped bring me forward in understanding of AI in a very quick and succinct way. I love the CMO Alliance. They have other forms of alliance under that alliance brand, but they're also very good at bringing forward groups and discussion and Slack channels and other things, as well as a cybersecurity society if you're in the cybersecurity space. These are all places, not necessarily books, but places that I go to as resources to be able to learn more, great information exchanges. And if you're heading down a path, there's a high likelihood that somebody else has either done it or is going through it as well. And so it helps to have other people in a community to bounce ideas off of. And these are places that you can go for that.
And what about some good people? Can you share the names of three inspirational people in the B2B space that you can recommend we bring to the show?
Yeah, I honestly, the three that I gave you before with Leslie, Daniel, and Melissa would be three that I think your listeners would get a lot of benefit from. It's very lean forward in the things that they're doing, and I would definitely suggest reaching out to them. And hearing what they have to say, because they will help bring forward your demand gen programs, your analytics, AI, predictive modeling, and also things on the PR front.
Excellent. How can people get in touch with you after this podcast?
Yep. So LinkedIn is probably the easiest way. You can just look me up as Carolyn Crandall, and then Slack channels. So if you're a part of either the CMO Alliance or Cybersecurity Society, I'm also a member of the First Board IO, which is a great organization for helping getting more women onto boards. So they're a fantastic organization, and you can reach out to me through them as well. So yeah.
Well, great. Well, Carolyn, I really enjoyed having you on the podcast today. Thanks for being on our show.
No, it's been a real pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Sunny Side Up. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review us and subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you consume podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube and Demandbase TV.